Hello and welcome back to the Career Connect series from careers360.com, the largest student portal. In my previous session, I talked about online MBA, the pros and cons of taking up an online MBA over a regular MBA. In today's session, we'll talk about where are these B schools which give you these online MBAs, both India and abroad. But before that, a very brief introduction of yours truly. My name is Arks. As you can see, I'm Calcutta alumnus, been there in the education industry, so to say, for more than 22 years, helped the students get to their IIMs and various other abroad B schools in the last couple of decades. But I will like to start off this session looking at how is the way in which you can select a business school, especially for an online MBA. What are the key factors? Now, some of them are not even accredited, but if there are accreditations and rankings like NIRF rankings in India, even for an online MBA, or a FT rankings for an online MBA, the Financial Times ranking from London, or US news rankings, etc. from US, I think you should pick it up. So accreditations and rankings probably will be the safest bet for you to take up a B school, especially on the online side. Then the second thing to consider is obviously going to be the course curriculum and the industry exposure that this particular course gives. If there is more industry exposure, if there are case studies from the industry, live case studies from the industry, I think is a very, very good case to, very good school to pick it up. The third one, obvious, because it's an online MBA, the kind of support one gets, the kind of seamless way in which the program is being designed for yourself, so that at whatever time, because it's an online MBA, it need not be, it need not be there at a very particular place 24/7. It should probably be available to you, and a 24/7 support, because your timelines may be different from somebody else's timelines, especially if it's an international MBA. I think that will be another consideration. Fourth, but probably the most important consideration, which is there on the screen here, is going to be your placement support. When you do an online MBA, are you going to get the degree from the institution that you have graduated from as a normal degree, as a distance learning degree, as an online MBA degree? What exactly do you get? How much of placement comes in? Placement assistance, placement guarantee. Is there a difference between the two? Yes, of course. If you look at most of the international business schools, they give you only a placement assistance, no guarantee. But in India, quite a lot of them give in the regular MBA. Does it happen for an online MBA? Very few such business schools are there which give a guaranteed return or a guaranteed placement at the end of 2 years, 18 months, or whatever the time for the online MBAs. So keeping that in mind is also going to be important. But mind you, like we said in the previous session, an online MBA, most people take up because they want to enhance their skills. They want to add up a degree and make sure that their progress in their same organization, the organization that they are working with, this MBA will come to use. So in that sense, placement may not be the best, but we'll look at it more about it. But here is my first consideration of what are the online MBAs from India and abroad. We'll start with positives and negatives for online MBA from India and an online MBA from abroad. The first one is, of course, the pros from India. You will see that if you are an Indian, the cohort will be very, very similar to who you are. Their understanding of the environment and the culture and the economy will be similar. And many business schools in India do not consider work experience to be mandatory. However, the cons or the negatives of this is that the major focus in online MBA is not practical. It is a lot more theoretical. And that is a negative part of it. And last, if you can get into this online MBA very, very easily, which is the case with a lot of these online MBA degrees in India, the value that the industry gives to your degree is going to be a wee bit less. And that is going to be a issue as far as the cons are concerned. What about online MBA from abroad? The cons are, the pros obviously are that you get a global perspective. You also develop a network across the world. Whereas when you talk about the negatives, most business schools abroad, especially the ones in Europe and US, look at a minimum of 2 years of full-time experience. Even if you are working right now, you cannot be a fresher getting into that almost. And sometimes, but not all the times, there is a problem with the tutor accent. I mean, the guys who are going to teach you, you need to understand it a little better, a little more carefully as compared to, let's say, an Indian who is teaching you in that sense. Now, let's look at some of the business schools. These are not an exhaustive list. I picked up only about a few of them here. 4 of them, and we also look at the kind of programs that they give. The first one is, of course, the EPGP from the IIMs, also an online MBA. Some of them have stopped. Like, for example, IIM Ahmedabad for the moment has stopped. There are some issues going on. IIM Bangalore, IIM Kozhikode, all of them give this EPGP. Most of these are 10 to 15-month programs and completely given online. Typically suited for people with more than 5 years of work experience. How do they select you? Through a valid GMAT or a GRE score along with a SOP, the statement of purpose. There is one executive MBA coming from NMIMS. There are so many other executive MBAs. I've just picked up a couple of them or 3 of them here. Obviously, the Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies is a very big name in the regular MBA from Mumbai. They also give you an executive MBA online too. And this is in partnership with Upgrad. It's a 24-month program, typically suited for a 3+ years work experience. And the admission is not that difficult. It's a 30-minute aptitude test. And after that, it's going to be a simple online interview. Amity also has an online MBA, 2 years program, 12 different specializations. Eligibility criteria does not include work experience, unlike the other 2 till now. And in that sense of the word, even fresh graduates can look at it if you want to start working and still have a certification. EMBA from SP Jain School of Global Management, again a very, very good program, 18-month program, designed specifically for 3+ years of work experience professional. They take up a CAT, GMAT, GRE, or even a SBJ 80. What about some of the international business schools? I'm talking about 3 of them here: Liverpool, Golden Gate, and Deakin from Australia. Liverpool, 18-month program, gives you an EMBA from the Liverpool Business School, 6 different specializations. People with minimum 2 years experience can apply. And upon completion, you get dual credentials, both a Liverpool Business School as well as IMT Ghaziabad from India. Similarly, when you look at a Deakin University on the right side, it also gives you a dual. It's also from Upgrad. It gives you the Deakin University certification as well as the IMT Ghaziabad. That is also for 3+ years work experience, but a 24-month program. There is also a Golden Gate University, a 15-month program. The admission is a lot more simpler. There is a statement of purpose, of course, giving you where you need to give all your details of your past academic and work experience records. It's a 100% online program. All 3 of them typically are powered by Upgrad. What I am going to do is actually speak to an expert in online MBA on the 24th of September. There is an AMA series that we have planned for you in this Career Connect, where every week we will talk to a professional, an expert in that domain. So the first guest speaker for this Career Connect series this week is Professor Sanjay Verma, chairperson of EPGP from IIM Ahmedabad. He understands what are the challenges of an EMBA, what are the challenges that the students face, what are the positives, pros and cons of this. And yours truly will be the host for this, asking questions to this gentleman, busting very, very important myths around the online MBA. Stay tuned, 6 p.m. on the September 24th, you will find me interviewing Professor Sanjay Verma. And with that, see you next. If you want to find the right information, if you want to get where you can trust the information, careers360.com is probably the best portal in India to go to. With that, see you again very soon in the guest speaker AMA with the expert series coming upon 24th of September. Thank you.